to work this out. My daughter was a junior in high school, and I was like, nope, I'm gonna let her stay and finish her high school out, and I'm gonna struggle. So I found any little job I could, took the job. We ended up finding a 1-bedroom apartment. Yes, it was small, but it was nice. And we worked it out the best way we could.
How many square feet?
I don't know, but we worked it out the best way we could.
Oh my gosh.
But to go back to, being forced out of the situation, it was like God said, okay, if you're not going to get up and leave, I'm going to force you to leave. And so what happened was I went to an event. I was speaking on a panel and on domestic violence.
Wow.
Come home. He called and wanted to come home. And I said no, because I already had put him out. And he had an order saying that he could not come back. But he would always violate the orders anyway.
Right.
And he called and wanted to come back. And I said no. And that night, he ends up coming to the house and kicking the door down.
Wow. And
that was the night he kept saying he was going to end my life. And my daughter was sneaking on the phone and calling the police. We would always say our Fridays was like the movie Friday. Like every Friday, it would be something that went on. It just was always some chaos in the house. There's always something going on. But, we have the experience of, that commercial that you hear. That's an actual video. It's an actual video that helped me to prosecute him. He came home one night. He had been drinking. Now, the liquor just enhanced the temper. So he was already abusive before the liquor came. That just took it to a whole nother level. And so he came in one night and he had been drinking, and I said, hey, are you drunk? He said yes. I started recording him because I wanted him to see how he acted. Very good example. I'm glad I did. Went to recording, and in this actual video, you see him. He hits me with his fist. You hear, and that's all the chaos and the noise that you hear.
Oh my God.
I took that video to the DA, and that's what that helps me in my case to say, here, this is what you're dealing with.
Right.
Once I get there and I talk to the district attorney, she pulls this record out. Now listen to this, Kristle. There's a list of women, all violations against women, crimes against women, but no one never prosecuted.
Oh my goodness.
A history. So they consider him a habitual offender.
Right.
So I went through the whole process of, okay, I'm going to go through the whole thing,
And I'm glad you did.
So he was facing 20 years. And what brought on what brought that on too was because on that night of the actual, when I recorded it, he left and came back. Kicked the front door down. Last time was the back door. This time is the front door. Kicked the door down. My daughter and I run out the back door. We jump in the car and we leave. It's like a movie.
Right.
And I'm on the phone with 911 letting them know what's going on. And they come in 6 cars. They've been in my house so many times.
Oh
so
God.
They come in. He tries to run out the back door. The door is gone. The dog is walking out in the middle of the street. They come in and they said, okay, we're going to go in. They arrest them or whatever. They said, we got to go in the house. They come back and say, ma'am, we got to wait for CSI. And I said, why? And they said, well, when you left, how was your house? I said, well, it was fine. Kristle, it looked like something on First 48 when I walked in. The CSI came. We go in the house. It's about 4 in the morning. So we ain't got really no clothes on. We go in. The house looked like someone was looking for drugs or money.
Oh, wow.
He had cut up the furniture, broke every TV in the house, broke pipes. Is water leaking over to the next room?
Oh my!
I mean, it just went ballistic in the house. I didn't even know you could break a microwave. The microwave is shattered.
And is this when you and your daughter left out?
Yes.
To call? Okay.
Right. So imagine if we stayed.
Oh my God! Forget about it.
You know what I mean? So he just went ballistic over her house. In the midst of them taking him away, he gets in the car and he's just yelling. You can't protect her all the time. And the officer said, do you understand that we can use that against you? And they did use that against him.
Good.
Again, and I'm saying, he's already out on a signature bond, so he's violating. And that's the thing. They kept letting him out. He kept slipping through the crack. And the district attorney kept saying, I don't even know how this was happening. But this time, it won't happen this time. So he sat for like 6 months before there was actual sentencing. Now listen, I go to the sentencing, and I'm still waiting on my divorce. I'm begging and pleading for my divorce. I get to court. He never once turned around the entire time to look at me. He never once said he was sorry. Wow. All he did was talk about himself the whole time. What we call that is a narcissist, and he's a sociopath. So he talked about, I've done this for her, I've done that, I took care of her, everything. And then he went with this. She was an escort. Then his attorney breaks out an 8x10 picture of me naked, saying that I was enticing him. Well, the district attorney's like, first of all, this has nothing to do with anything. Right. And that was his wife. Right. We don't know how old that picture is. Right. So I'm not even going to, you can't bring that. You can't do that. He was facing 20 years. Even before the court proceedings started on that day, he talked about me like a dog in the courtroom. And the district attorney said, do you hear him? I said, yes, I do. She said, Mama asked for the 20. Because apparently, him sitting for 6 months, he hadn't learned a lesson. So they asked for the 20. He didn't get the 20. He got 2 years in and 8 years on paper. And what the judge said to me was that it doesn't seem like a lot, but for someone like him,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. Because 8 years on paper, that's hard. Because he's a habitual offender. He's bound to get in trouble again. He's bound to do this again to some woman. I was the third wife. Wow. He's on the fourth wife now, and it'll probably be the fifth wife. And I'm just, so that whole experience, being homeless, jobless, I think at one point I kind of was I felt like I was losing my faith. I kept asking and praying, why did this happen? And I remember going to my assistant pastor, and I was telling him everything that had happened. And I was like, well, I want to write a book. I want to do this. I want to do that. He said, no, you can't. And I said, why? He said, because your story isn't done. My God. My story wasn't done, Kristle, because I still had him in my life. I had not gotten a divorce. I still was letting him come back and forth. Right. So I could not, there was no story to write. Right. Because it was not done. I met a lady one time when I was still married. And she prophesied over me. 2 different people. She said, write your name down on a piece of paper. I wrote it down, and she started drawing people and traveling me in a car and in an audience. And she said, you got a story. She said, I don't know what it is, but people are going to come and listen to you. I don't know what this is about, but people are going to come and hear you. And she said, women. I had not told this lady nothing about me. He was standing up against the wall, looking, and I was just crying because I hadn't told nobody anything. And she was just going on and on telling me this stuff. I called her just recently to tell her that what you said to me was true, that you prophesied over me. I spoke to another pastor, didn't tell him anything either. He said, in the middle of the conversation, he said, thank you, God. He said, you're going to be talking to people. He said, I don't know what it's about. He said, but people going to want to hear you. It's something you got to say. Right. And I was like, okay. So then when the opportunity started coming up for me to start talking, about my experience, it was like, I'm not ashamed anymore because that's his shame. That's nothing to do with me. Right. So I remember going to a job interview, and the lady said, tell me something about you that no one would know. I said, oh, I'm a survivor of domestic abuse. She looked at me and she said, what? It startled her. And she was like, I said, you would be amazed. If you do it an anonymous, if you go in there and you're in there and you ask people to write on a piece of paper and put it in a box, who've experienced this?
You probably got 75% of the room.
Exactly, because they said 1 in 4 women. I was like, you would be surprised who's just not speaking. I'm just the one that's just speaking. With the voice. Just with the voice. That's it. What I said was, okay, God, if this is my assignment, then I accept it. If I got to go through all of this to get the word out, then okay. I just said I surrender. You know what I mean? I just said, if that's what I got to do, that's what I got to do. Did I like it? No. I cried a lot. It's so funny because I was seeing a therapist not too long ago, and she said, she how she words me. She said, "Do you?" She said, "Are you?" I told her I feel sometimes people say I'm emotionally detached, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought about it, and a lot of times you talking to people, you will answer your own self, you'll figure out your own questions, right? And I said, I never let him see me cry. No matter how many times he hit me in my face, mm-hmm. no many times he had slapped me, no matter how many times he had called me out my name, I had never let him see me cry. So I think that had a lot to do with him trying to break me down. Mm-hmm. She not crying, right? Mm-hmm. She's not breaking down mm-hmm. like I want her to. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna keep coming at her. Mm-hmm. I remember Mother's Day 2012, and I always said Mother's Day would never be the same for me. Wow. Went on a trip to say it was Mother's Day to celebrate. He got mad because I said he was drinking a beer mm-hmm. at like 7 a.m. He just went on and on talking about it. It just kept going on and on about it, right? We in the car. We like Ike and Tina. Yeah. I remember he hit me on the side of my head so hard I blanked out for a second. To this day, sometimes that hearing, sometimes I could kind of hear it goes in and out. Right. Mm-hmm. And I remember my earring being pulled out my ear. My ear is bleeding. He's pulling my hair and it's bitch this, bitch that, and just going on and on. And we get to a rest stop, right? Mm-hmm. And I get on the phone and he's like, "Who you calling?" So now he's paranoid about me calling the police. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "Nobody." We get in the car, but I get in the back seat. We're in the truck. Mm-hmm. And he's driving in the front. And I jump out the car as we're going down the exit. And I start walking back to the rest stop. Mm-hmm. He's coming behind me. It's raining. He's literally dragging me back to the truck. Wow. Nobody stopped. And this is why I keep stressing domestic violence is everybody's business. This is everybody's business. That's true. And so he's dragging me back to the truck. But this is how dirty he was. He ain't gonna put me on the side of the driver's side for people to see what he's about to do. He put me on the passenger side, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna post this picture this week because it's domestic violence month. I took a picture. My face was so just swollen. I had facial fractures. And everything pretty much, I would save stuff. Because I don't know why. The spirit just said, save it. You need to hold on to this stuff. Right. And, he was in the car and he's driving. He's like, if I go to jail, I'm going to jail for murder. I ain't just going to jail for anything.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so he's going on and on. So it was a bottle of antifreeze in the back seat. So I'm saying, okay, we both gonna die in here today. Right. Because this truck is gonna crash. You're gonna have antifreeze in your eyes. You ain't gonna be able to see. Right. However the case may be. And he kept going on and on about, and that's another thing he would do. It's like he would taunt me. Are you afraid to die?
That's what he asked you?
He would ask me that a lot of times.
Oh, wow.
And I would look at him and be like, nope. And I think that's what would get him, because I would never break down. I would be like, nope, I'm not afraid. I remember another time, and I'm giving the people instances of these things because I want you to see as time went on, nothing got better. Mm-hmm. It got worse. Nothing got better, and that's why I said I knew it was nothing but God that kept me, Kristle. Mm-hmm. I know that to be true. Definitely. I mean, being in a room with somebody and they're telling you, you can't leave. Mm-hmm. So that's false imprisonment, right?
Absolutely.
So you lock the door, you won't allow me to leave, and you sit up and drink all night, and you talking crazy and degrading me, and you making me feel like less than a woman. But I would never let him see me get to that point. Mm-hmm. I felt it, mm-hmm. but I would never let him see me get to that. And I think that's what would get him upset. Right. That would get him upset. Mm-hmm. She not crying. She ain't putting up no fit. I'm just rolling with it. Oh, okay, that's how you feel, right. And I'm letting you just go on and on and on. Mm-hmm. But I kept saying it has to be a greater purpose. I didn't believe none of this just didn't happen for a reason. So how S.O.D.A came about, I called my cousin one day and I said, I believe I'm supposed to do something. I don't know what it is, mm-hmm. but I'm supposed to do something. And I said, I got to think of a name. And I was like, an acronym. She said, it's just going to come to you. It's just going to come to you. I said, okay. So I'm sitting in the tub. And I said, soda. I'm not a soda drinker. And I'm like, S.O.D.A. So I'm like, sisters of this, da, 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 da. And I'm thinking all this stuff. Survivors of domestic abuse. I said, oh, that's it right there. Mm-hmm. So then I'm like, okay, I got it. So now I'm thinking about a shirt. I'm excited now. I'm thinking about how I want it to look. So I said, okay, I need 3 soda cans. I need the soda cans to be beat up. I need 1 of the cans tipped over. I need the words flowing out. Survivors of domestic abuse, right? Mm-hmm. I got it. Mm-hmm. So I presented to a couple people and I kept saying, hey, I need for you all to, I was looking for somebody, a graphic artist. I need you to write this out. Mm-hmm. No one could get it. Rhonda Thompson, she said, I know somebody that could do it. I contacted the guy, Kristle. I told him my vision. He said, give me 30 minutes. He emailed me this.
Not 30 minutes.
30 minutes he emailed me. I was nothing different I needed to do. It was literally like God said, just write it just like that. That's it. Mm-hmm. The whole concept behind S.O.D.A, Survivors of Domestic Abuse, is this. We may be broken and battered. Because you go to the grocery store, right? And you see a can. It's beat up. We typically push it to the side.
Absolutely.
We don't want it. Yeah, we get the new one, right? Why do we do that? Like it's something wrong with the inside.
I totally agree.
Why do we do that?
I do it all the time.
But so I said, okay. So when you as broken women, you tend to push those things to the side. Mm-hmm. And I said, no, we still some good in the inside. When you open up that can or that soda, it's fizz, it's still some good. That's when you open up the can of vegetables, there's still some good. Mm-hmm. And that's how the whole concept came up with survivors of domestic abuse. We are broken and battered on the outside, but we're still some good in the inside. It's a lot of good left in us. It hurted me. I remember one day I had to say the words, I was a battered woman. Mm-hmm. I literally cried. Because I was like, a battered woman? Like, that hurt to say that. And I said, okay, I got to accept that. That's what it was. So I'm going to do something with this. So then I said, well, I'm going to get these shirts made. I'm going to start trying to speak at everything. I don't care if I have to pay somebody to let me come and speak, but I want to be a voice to those who were not ready to tell their story yet. Because all our stories are similar in some way. Because abuse is abuse.
That's it.
And so I said, well, I'm going to start talking, and I'm going to tell it. I've had people that stopped talking to me. I had a woman not too long ago.
Because you told your story.
Because I told my story. I had a few people come to me and apologize and say, hey, I didn't know. Or somebody said, he had me believing that you were the worst. You was this bad lady. Yeah. You was this terrible lady. And that was another thing I want to touch on too, as far as with an abuser. It's like they'll get everybody on their side, right? So he'll call my mother and everybody to say, we got into it. So now they thinking we fighting. Right. But it ain't no we. It's you. It's you. So we got into it. She won't do this. She won't do that. So now they like, well, Kendra, my mother, why you don't do this? But I ain't ready to tell her. So now I got to play the part. Again, the mask. Right. So now I got to play the part. Well, ma, this, that. Pretending, or you shouldn't believe everything he's telling you, but I ain't ready to tell you the truth just yet. And so even with and I tell people about children, you have your children in the home, trust me, they paying attention, they listening, and they knowing,
and they're gonna eventually say something.
Absolutely. My daughter was 8 years old when this all started. She's now 19. To this day, she's a sophomore in college, but she just wrote an essay on my story. Wow. People don't think that it affects the children, but it does. I mean, people, well, I don't want to leave, and no, you're doing more damage to the children. I didn't see that at that time, but now I see it. Now that my vision is clear, now I'm able to say, okay, I see the mistake I made right there, and I apologize to my daughter and telling her that I'm sorry for putting her through that. But then I also said she's a survivor too.
That's right.
I hated the question people would say is, why did you stay? That shouldn't even be an issue. The question should be, what's wrong with him? Then the other thing should possibly be, hey,
thank God you're alive.
Right, right. The other thing should be is, well, how did you survive? Because surviving is a skill. You put you out in someone in the jungle. You gotta survive. You gotta maneuver. You gotta figure out some things.
Right.
And that's how I felt about that. Ask me how I survived. Because again, we wear the mask. You gotta tiptoe around the person. You don't want to make them angry. His one thing was always, why you gotta have your face look like that? My face look like what? What my face looking like this when you marry me? You know, just
and what was he saying? Or what was his meaning? Did you have on makeup, or I'm trying to
no?
understand.
He would say I would have my face frowned up.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, because I don't like you.
Wow.
You know, and then we ain't gonna talk about even the cheating aspect. You know, you would cheat and cheat and cheat, and then try to use this. Well, I mean, you know, you don't do this anymore. You don't do that. Well, you just punched me in my face, and
right.
and then you.
Yeah.
So I'm not supposed to lay down with you?
Right.
And everything is okay? And then another thing, Kristle, he would go to sleep like nothing had even happened. Like, it was no fear. Like, he just get in bed and go to sleep like everything was cool and get up the next day and go on by his business. But I'm here with a swollen face or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But you go on like nothing. And then you would treat these other women
like queens.
Like queens. And then got to the point of, we still married, but you had no shame. You would post pictures
of other women.
You and some other woman. I had a woman contact me and say, "Hey, I don't mean to be, in your business, but I saw, isn't just your husband?"
Oh wow.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Regardless if we're separated or whatever the case may be, it's still out of respect. If you're gonna do that, that's cool, but you don't have to put it out. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's already embarrassing enough. So, like I said, I just started saying, I'm going to tell my story. I'm not hiding your name. I'm not doing that. Because you're still protecting him. If you're not saying that person's name, you're still protecting him. So it's like, yeah, I'm talking about it. I've heard people, he was upset. I put the video out there. There's other things that I'm going to put out there.
That's right.
Because I need for people to understand the realness of it. Now, how that promo video came along.
It was awesome.
Thank you so much.
It was really, really good.
It's supposed to be 2 parts, but that video has gotten over 2,000 likes in 10 days.
Wow.
And honestly, I don't think this other video will impact people as much as that, because I wanted people to hear hearing and seeing is 2 different things. Even when I presented the video to the prosecutor, she was like, just the screaming, like it was just too much,
And just to say this, it's funny because when you first sent me the actual video, I kept listening to it and listening to it and listening to it, and my little boy, he's 8 years old. So, of course, in the beginning, he wanted to hear it. Like, okay, what are you listening to, Mom? So I let him hear it. So every so often, on any day, I'll just go back and listen to it. Like today, I was listening to it this morning. He said, "Mom, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off." Like, he can't take it.
Yeah.
So I can imagine, and understand why you got so many likes, because the video and the actual commercial is powerful. It's very, very powerful.
Yeah. What I did was back in February, I was half asleep, and I never really sleep. My mind is always going, and
that's me.
The Spirit said, you need to do a PSA or commercial. You need 6 foreign women. And I was like, I don't even know any foreign women. So I was like, well, God, this doesn't make sense to me. So I said, okay. I prolonged it, Kristle. I kept putting it off. My daughter had a friend that said he was a videographer and a photographer. He said, I can help you. I said, okay. I started asking people, do you know anybody? Do you know anybody? And I was kind of wanting to give up, because I was like, it's just not coming along. Then it started flowing. I started finding different women. I said, okay. So basically, it was supposed to be this. It was supposed to be first video. It was only going to be just this video. The video was going to be 6 women, foreign women. They were going to say, I am S.O.D.A in their native language. The concept behind that is just like soda comes in many flavors and colors.
That's right.
So does domestic abuse. That's the bottom line.
Wow.
It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not a Hispanic thing. It's an everybody's thing. And that's when I went to talking about domestic abuse. It's everybody's business.
Right.
So when I went to the videographer and I had these people come, and I said, wait a minute. No, I need something else. I need to have a promo video leading up to the actual video. I didn't know that promo video would get as much attention as it has. I had no idea. And I went to look at, I was talking to the guy. I said, all right, I'm directing now. So now I think I'm a director and I'm a producer now. So I'm like, okay, I got this. I got this. So I'm like, okay, I need them just to look in the camera. I just need you to see their eyes. I need you just to see the color of their skin, because that's the whole concept. And then we kept saying, well, what we gonna have playing behind it? What's the music? I kept Googling stuff, and I was like, I don't want no piano. And I said, nah, it's gotta be that video. It's gotta be that voice. They need to hear
Absolutely.
that. And I told him, he said, I have to loop it. I said, I don't care how many times you have to do it. I need that to keep playing and keep playing and keep playing. When I put it out there, and people started messaging me, like, and they was commenting, and they were like, ooh, that, man, like, I can't get that out of my mind. Like, I can't get it out of my head. Like, it's like, I can't even listen to it.
That's it.
In the beginning, when I first even presented this video, of the actual video, it brought me back to a place, and I had to kind of, like, get myself together in hearing it. Now, it's like, yeah, it kind of bothers me a little bit, but it's the truth and it's real. So I said, let me put that in the video, and I needed people to see. It wasn't my seeing, it was hearing.
Right.
Because you'll have the fake makeup and all that, and I was like, no, they need to hear what really goes on behind closed doors. And what you heard was my daughter. My daughter was 16 at the time. No, she was 17. She was 17 at the time when that happened. And that's when he tore the house up, and she was coming up the stairs because she heard all the drama. And as she was coming up the stairs, we were in the kitchen, and there was a pot on the stove. And she came upstairs, and as she came upstairs, he turned around and he hit her.
Wow.
And at that point, I was like, okay, one of us is dying, and one of us is going to prison. And that's exactly how I felt. He was drunk, so he's off balance. And there was a pot on the stove. I took the pot, I hit him in his face. His mouth was bleeding. Somehow I was able to push him outside on the porch. And then he kicked the front door down.
Wow.
And that's when all the drama unfolded, I said, as far as with the furniture and everything being tore up, and just the house and just disarray. And that was the last straw for me. That was it. It was like, you can do whatever you want to do to me, but when you involve children, it's a total different thing.
Yeah.
Now we on a whole different level now.
Right.
Because now I don't really care. And then it's like, you know when you tired. It's like, enough is enough. I'm asking you to leave. I want this divorce. I want this to be done and over with. Why don't you just go?
Right.
But like I said, they're not going to just up and leave. In my situation, he was forced to leave out. Like I said, so God said, okay, you know what? You're not going to leave, so I'm going to force this situation to get ugly that you're going to have to leave.
Right.
But I honestly, Kristle, I'm thankful for the whole experience. I say the saying that few are called. Is it few are chosen? And I felt that I was chosen.
Some are called, but
few are chosen. Yeah. So I kind of felt that was my assignment, and that was my calling. That was my purpose. He said, I'm going to save you from that. But I always acknowledge him and let everybody know he gets all the glory.
That's
he gets
right.
all the praise, because I know that it was him that kept me. Because some of the instances that have happened, I know it was God. You know what I mean? So I know I have to give him all of this. This is all him. And I'm just he's just using me, like I said, to help somebody else who's not ready to talk just yet. And I just hope that who's ever listening, or if someone tells a friend or whatever, if you know somebody, it would never get better.
That's right. My sister Angie said thank you for telling your story and sharing. She's actually on Periscope. You guys, we are on Periscope as well as Facebook Live. However, if you do would like to call into the show, please feel free to call in at 347 850 8557. Again, the number is 347-850-8557. Kendra, your voice sounds better than mine, but we're going to...
I know, and I'm the one... I didn't even finish drinking my tea.
God.
I didn't finish drinking my tea.
The allergies have started, so I'm going to definitely...
I think mine's just been talking too much.
I'm going to have to start taking something because this is not right. But you guys, I got some tension in my neck, so I'm going to have to take a quick commercial break. You know, this thing, I mean, it's the conversation and the topic is very, very touchy. So, of course, you know, when I have to talk and speak about domestic violence and my experience and hearing other people's, it's a little stressful. It gets a little frustrating.
Yes, it
so
does.
the whole left side of my neck is a little swollen right now. So I'm going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. I need to breathe, you guys.
Hey, Bill. Hey, Yvonne.
All right, you guys, we are back. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to press 1, and we'll be more than happy to get you in the studio with myself, Kristle Shanell, or Miss Kendra Turner. So, Kendra, I have a question for you. If you don't mind me asking, how long has he been in jail, and like, how close is it to him getting out?
He's actually out. He started. Out. Yes, he got out this past May.
Okay.
Just May. Yeah, May 2016. He served 2 years in. He did about. So he sat for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did about a year, a little over a year in actual prison, and then he went to a halfway house. So you know, I don't think I think too that's why a lot of women don't want to prosecute.
You're right.
Because it's like, I've been through all of this, and all you get is
a year and some change.
Right, a year and some change, really. Because, I mean, in a halfway house, you're still free.
That's right.
But I've endured 8 years, and then I'm still dealing with.
Yeah, how many years later?
Right. I'm still dealing with. So, it doesn't seem fair to me. But like I mentioned before, that he wanted to be the star.
Right.
And it's funny how, and God is using me, the tables turn. I think it was a comment made one time that, oh, she's posting videos and she's this and that, but knowing she's not getting that many likes? Well, first of all,
Right.
Over 2,000 people have viewed one video. That means I've gotten over 2,100 people attention. I've gotten over 100 and something shares. So it's getting people's attention.
Right.
To
and
me,
it's going to continue to
right.
grow.
And for me, I mean, even if it wasn't 2,100, 2,100 is very good. 2,100 people that are looking at me, and I always say, little old me. I'm just Kendra. I'm nobody. You know, I'm not this big organization, this 501c3. I'm just a lady telling her story, hoping to help somebody else.
Right.
That's just it. It's very simple, cut and dry. Nothing fancy. You know, I've heard people say, well, are they paying you to come and do this? Are they paying? No one's paying me to do anything. I'm doing it because that's my purpose. And honestly, it's still healing for me. The more I talk, because I remember the time I would cry as soon as I started talking about it. Now it's like asking me what I have for lunch. It rolls off me. It's just so easy now. I'm not going to tell you and I told you this before. Every day is different. Every day is different. So I just continue to to share my story. Back home, there's a young lady that was murdered. She's 19.
My God.
By her son's father. Her son is 3. Someone contacted me and told me about it. And I was like, 19? 19. I'm 45. So, I mean, and there's no telling how long it had been going through it. Right. You know?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I saw that on your page.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was yesterday I was reading that.
Yeah, and
very sad situation.
I was saying, you know, I wanted to reach out to her mother and say that to be a voice for her daughter, to tell her some things her daughter wanted to say that she couldn't say. You know?
You should reach out to her.
Yeah, I've contacted a few people to let them know that I would like to, you know, speak to her mother. You know, I always talk about reaching people in the masses. If I had to go to the funeral and address that issue, because trust me, it's 1 in 4 sitting in that room that's going through it.
That's it.
Or will go through it.
That's it.
And so, I mean, you know, it was the shame. You know, nobody wants to just break out and say, oh yeah, by the way, you know, he's jumping on me, he's hitting me.
He's beating me.
Yeah, he's beating me. That's embarrassing. I told you today when I went to the store and I bought the cupcakes. And the lady was looking at my shirt. And I can see that she was looking, but she would not address it. She wouldn't say anything. And that's why I say, people, this stigma of no one wants to address it. Like, it's like, ugh. I remember a time when people were to AIDS and HIV.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to touch it. Now, it's okay. That's okay. But when you address this domestic abuse, it's nobody wants to talk about it. And I'm like, why? It's happening in households everywhere. Like, even in the church.
And even the older people. I mean, the 60s and, you know, 70 years old.
Right.
I mean, you look at the news here and there, you'll hear stories
Yeah.
about that as well, you know.
Yeah.
Husbands killing the wives and, you know, vice versa. It's just unbelievable.
I just, you know, I said that even within churches, the pastors don't even want to address it. And you got the clergymen, the deacons, whoever, and they're the abusers a lot of time. And, you know, and I'm like, come on, y'all need to talk about that.
Yeah. Like,
that's an issue. Like, you talk about everything else, but you don't want to address that. And that's a very serious issue.
Right.
When I was, at that time, we had joined church together, and I went to talk to my pastor, and I did tell him what was going on. He did have a sermon once addressing domestic abuse.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he did. And then in his story, in his sermon, he referenced some of the things I had told him. Only him and I knew who he was talking about. And that's another thing about with an abuser. He's never gonna admit that he's an abuser. Right. He's never gonna admit that. He does not have the problem. It's everybody else's fault. You know, it's you. You don't this, you don't that. It has nothing to do with him. is, and you know, I remember, and it's he had an attorney once that said to him, he put all the papers out. He said, "This is who you are. How can I defend you? Wow. You haven't taken no classes. Wow. You haven't shown that you're trying to do better. You ain't going to no therapist. You're not doing anything." Right. So he said, "This is who you are." You know, he fired him. Wow. Because it was the truth.
The truth hurts.
The truth hurts. So never wanted to address it. And I even have people, Kristle, tell me, his friends, after the fact, it's like, once I opened up that can of worms and I started talking about it, it was like, "Oh, I thought you knew." Well, when was you going to tell me?
At the funeral?
Right.
When it's too late?
Right, when it's too late. When were you going to tell me? Well, I thought you knew that he was, wow. I thought you knew that he was this way and that way. And I'm like, no.
Okay, Angie said that's true whether it's emotional, verbal, sexual, or physical. That's absolutely true.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely true. And you guys, that's on Periscope. Please, she said they won't admit it. Absolutely. But please share this broadcast. You know, you just never know who you're able to help, who you're able to share this story with, and, you know, they can be blessed by it or helped by it, whatever the scenario may be. But, and Facebook Live, I don't really use that too often, so I'm not sure how that works.
It saves it. I can save it, and then people can go back and look at it.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So that's beautiful. So I'm going to have to let you show me how to really work Facebook Live. I'm more, you know, used to work in Periscope, but that's awesome. But you guys as well on Facebook Live, please share the broadcast. Somebody needs to hear this story. Somebody needs to hear Kendra Turner's testimony. And if you know someone that have been through domestic violence or currently going through domestic violence, you know, just try your best to lend an ear or see, you know, what you could possibly do to help that person that's going through the domestic violence situation.
Right, because I don't need you to give me all this, and judge me. And I don't need you to judge me. I don't need you talking about what I should do, how I should do. We just need you to listen.
That's it.
Just listen. That's all. And we will move in our time, because you have to understand that it's a very critical point. If a woman just decides to leave, she's at a greater chance of not being a survivor. Right. Because he loses control. And in my situation, same thing with me. Once I decided you gotta go, he lost control. Then it was like, I don't even care no more. Right. I don't care about going to jail, because now you've lost control. And
you know, it's amazing, because even when I went through my domestic violence situation, I was tired of the verbal, the emotional, the spiritual, and the financial, that I turned physical first. You follow? So, of course, at the end of the day, if you hit me, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to hit you back. Right. Or if I hit you, then guess what's going to happen? Right. You're going to hit me back. In 9 times out of 10, it doesn't matter whether or not it's a female or a male. If you're put in a situation like that, I mean, there's only but so much a person can take and will take, you know. But with that experience, you know, I learned a lot. Yet to this day, I'm still dealing with that situation. Angie said it helps a person going through know that they are not alone and gain strength. That's it. Yeah. But, you know, going to jail and having to experience everything that I've experienced in life, again, like you say, you're still dealing with, you know, different things because of that. I'm still dealing with different things because of that, you know. And just recently, you know, my other half had to tell me, let your past be your past. I am not your past. I am different. You know, so, I mean, and this was just Sunday or Monday of this week, you know what I mean? So, a lot of times we take those bad situation and those things that may have happened to us in our past, and we put it into our current and make it our current. And unfortunately, we can't do that.
Unfortunately, you're right.
Yeah, so we have to find some type of way to release.
It's funny you said that. Yeah, it's very hard. It's funny you said that, because I had someone say to me one time, do you want to tell a man you first meet, your past. And I said, absolutely. And I said, because I need for him to, I may do something or say something, react a certain way that he may think like, ooh, you know, what's the big deal? But if you know my past, then you'll understand why I'm reacting the way I'm reacting.
That's it.
Even right now, there is someone that I'm seeing right now, and that's the first thing I said to him, that this is who I am. This is a part of me.
Yeah.
And he's very, very supportive.
That's awesome.
Of all of this.
That's
like,
awesome.
just, you know, making sure I'm on point with, you know, speaking and, you know, just all of that, just very in tune with what I'm doing.
And I just want to say thank God for him, because we as women that have been through the domestic violence, we need that support.
Absolutely.
And I just, I'm grateful for your other half as well as my other half. You know, gotta definitely give them a shout out, because we need that support. And I did not realize, you know, how important it is to have that support until I started receiving it. You know what I mean?
It feels weird.
Thing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
thing. Very weird.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's weird. It's like, what do you want from me? Like, you know, you always thinking the person have a motive, and it's not fair to them.
Or when are you leaving?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So I'm glad to know that I'm not the only one that feels that way. That's awesome. That's awesome. Kendra, let me just ask you, like, what, as far as your next project or upcoming events and things of that nature, what do you have going on currently?
Well, I'm still debating about putting out this other video. I'm not sure yet, because, like I said, this promo video, so to speak, has gotten really good reviews. So I'm thinking I might just leave that just where it's at. Actually, I have an interview coming up on Thursday with a show guy here in Lithonia, Morning Inspiration Radio.
Awesome.
And then also, I'll be in Jackson, Mississippi next week on the 8th. I will be speaking there as well.
Awesome.
I'm excited. I'm really excited about that.
Awesome.
And I want to just say this, Kristle. I remember practicing how I would speak to women.
Wow.
And I would be in the mirror, and I would have my whole little fake speech I would come up with, whatever. It was, you know how you be like a little kid, and you want to be a singer, right? You practicing how you're going to sing or whatever. And
that's funny.
I had started doing that. But wait, this was a couple years ago. I hadn't even started talking to anybody yet.
Wow.
So it was like God was preparing me for that. And so now it's like, do I get a little stomach? I get a little nervous when I know I'm coming in to speak.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I kind of sit to the side and I pray. But it's just funny how God works, because, like I said, I would practice, like, okay, I'm gonna talk like this, and I'm gonna say this, and, you know, thank you for this and that, and it's all coming to pass. And I just, you know, it's a blessing. I'm excited about being able to go and speak in different states and cities, and it's just exciting. You know, it's exciting that people want to, I always say, little on me. People want to hear, who is this girl? What is S.O.D.A? I wanted S.O.D.A to become a household name, not just the S.O.D.A you did. Or when you look at a S.O.D.A can, I want you to think of, I am S.O.D.A.
That's right.
You know, I want it to become a household name for people to really understand that this is a serious issue. It needs to be addressed. There is no shame for the woman or for men, because abuse happens to men as well. But I wanted people to understand that you don't have to be ashamed and tell your story. You know, speak. And understand, if you're not going to speak, girl, I got you. I'm going to speak for you.
That's right. That's right. And I just want to give a shout out to my dear sister, Monica Day. Thank you for joining us, Monica. Monica actually is the owner and founder of Daylight.
I think she's following me.
You think so? Okay.
I think so.
From Daylight Awareness and Prevention Agency. So she also is a domestic violence survivor as well as overcomer. So actually, we are going to be planning something very soon. I think it's October the 29th, if I'm not mistaken. That last Saturday in this month. So we're going to have those invites out to everyone soon. So if you're available, you know, we would love for you to be there also, Kendra. But Again, you guys, if you have any questions, everybody would just want to listen today. We just want to say thank you so much to Facebook Live and Periscope, and of course the people that have called in and that's listening online as well. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to call us at 347-850-8557, and we'll be happy to get you into the studio. But Kendra, that's awesome. I mean, I'm very excited about your speaking engagement this coming up weekend. Definitely want to say safe travels to you, and hopefully you'll be able to record it.
Yeah, my mother is actually going,
Okay,
and my aunt. So
awesome.
they'll be. This is the first time she's getting to see me speak.
That's great.
When I asked her about the commercial, right? I said the video. I said, "Did you listen to the video?" And she said, "I don't want to talk about it."
Wow.
And I said, "Okay." She started. She asked the word. She was full, and she said, "It's too much."
Yeah.
So she said, "I'm not ready to talk about it, and I'm not ready to listen to that all the way."
Wow. She couldn't even finish it.
She couldn't finish it. I had a couple people tell me they couldn't finish it.
My son today said, "Turn it off. Turn it off. What are you doing?"
I didn't think that it would. I didn't think it would have that kind of impact on people. I really didn't. I just know I wanted people to hear it.
Absolutely.
But just to hear people say, "Oh, that's too much. I can't." That lets me know that it's working.
That's it. That's it. Working. It's getting people's attention.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I had this lady on Blog Talk Radio. She was helping me with my equipment and my system and everything. And she told me, she said, she was helping me throughout the process. And she said, "What is that noise?" She said, I said, "You know what?" I said, "That's my girlfriend. That's her commercial. She's a survivor of domestic violence." She said, "Well, honey, all I can tell you is it's getting people's attention." She said, because when she heard it, she was just like shook, like, what is going on, So I was trying to play the commercials to see, if everything was working all right with the system and everything. So, she said, just tell her it's getting people's attention.
That's the whole point, is that's all I wanted was to get people's attention, just for them to understand, this is nothing so simple. This is nothing to do with, like I said, you'll see the fake, commercials with the fake makeup and all that stuff, and you're not even going to see a commercial on domestic abuse anyway.
Right.
It's just that simple. But I figure, you know what? If I can't get it on national TV, I mean, social media is everything. Everybody uses social media.
Everybody uses social media.
Yeah, everybody uses social media.
I don't even think people paying attention to the TV no more.
Right. Yeah, because there's
social media.
So I was like, you know what? I put it on social media, and like I said, I didn't even imagine, even it wasn't even 24 hours, and it was already 1,000 views in 24 hours. And I was like, wow, and it's still growing, and people are still sharing.
That's right.
So, I can't wait to see what the number is at the end of the month, because I've been stressing to everybody it's Domestic Abuse Awareness Month.
Yeah.
And I just been telling everybody, please share, please share, please share.
And I sent the commercial actually to some of my friends that have radio shows, so they'll definitely be playing it on their show as well. So I will keep you posted on that as well, on when they're playing it and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's the whole thing, for people to just to hear the realization of it, that this is serious.
Yeah, it really is.
This is really serious, and people don't want to address it until it becomes their issue. Now it happened to my mother, my sister, and this and that.
Now you got a campaign and everything.
Right, Now it's like, okay, so but you wouldn't get on board when it was somebody else sharing what they had experienced.
That's
now because it's happened to your mother, your sister. Now we want to cause all this ruckus.
Right.
But no, you need to address the issue. First of all, you need to address the issue in the household. Think about a young boy.
Right.
So he see daddy come up jumping on mama or the girlfriend or whatever. So there's a pretty huge chance that he's gonna do the same thing. He's gonna think it's okay.
Right.
I told you that I got an inbox from a lady last night. Never met the lady before. And you don't know who's listening.
That's right.
You never know who's listening and how you can help.
Right.
And she said, she had her boyfriend that came in and had jumped on her. And basically she just wanted somebody to listen, I think. Just, and I just told her, Do you have a plan? Right. And are you really tired?
Right.
You know, are you really, really ready to go? Because if you're ready to go, then, you know, she went to talk about her financial situation. I said, let me tell you something. It don't even matter. Because it'll be finances, it'll be this, it'll be that, it'll be something else.
It's always going to be something different.
Right. No, just go. Just go. Because guess what? You might not make it out next time.
That's it.
Might not make it out next time.
That's
or
it.
Your children. You know, your daughters are paying attention. I told you my daughter wrote me a letter one time and said, I can't respect you because you don't respect yourself. And that stuck for a long
I can
time.
imagine.
So
I got tears in my eyes just hearing that.
And I said, wow, you know, okay, did I end the situation right away? I did not. You know, you said we have every excuse in the world.
Absolutely.
I don't have no job yet. I don't have any money. I don't know how I'm going to make it. It's just, you know, we have every excuse. But guess what? I still was put in that situation anyway. You know what I mean? I still ended up having to, like I still went through the whole homeless, no job, you know, no car. I still went through all of that. Right. So regardless if I would have left prior to or after the fact, I still went through the same process. It probably even drug out and went a little bit further. You know, and I said, God had just was like, okay, you ain't going to move. You're not going to do what I'm telling you need to do. Okay, well then I'm going to make it like this, but you're going to have to do this.
Right.
And that's basically, and that's what happened. You're not listening to me. I've spared you. I keep sparing your life. And like I said, Chris, I know it was nothing but him, and that's all I know is that's why I said I have to keep talking, and I'll keep spreading the word. And I'll wear this T-shirt proudly. I don't care how people looking, you know, sideways and questioning. Well, why would you want to wear? I had somebody say that to me, Kristle. Really? I asked them about buying a shirt, and they said, "Ooh, I don't want people to think that I went through that."
Wow.
But you'll wear breast cancer.
Right.
You'll wear Alzheimer's. You'll wear, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to this, I don't want nobody to know that.
Wow.
Well, why not?
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that very interesting?
Tell the listening audience the price of your shirts and how they can purchase it and all that good stuff.
Okay, the shirt is $20. You can you can email me at soda.info2015@gmail.com. My Instagram is I am S.O.D.A, and it's spelled like this. So you got I am, and it is S.O.D.A.
One more time.
That's how they made me do it. That's how they have me do it. It's I am S.O.D.A. I am S.O.D.A. I know it's a lot. And then on Facebook, I am Kendra Turner. How you know it's me is because you'll see a picture of my shirt, and you'll see also it'll say domestic violence is everybody's business. And then I also have a S.O.D.A page, which is just plain S.O.D.A, or you can put in I am S.O.D.A as well. And then we're working on my website, which is going to be iamsoda.org, and I gotta check on that to see when is that going to be up and running. But I'm always on Facebook. I'm always posting things on Facebook pretty much day to day. I tell people you can inbox me with questions. I'm always willing to talk and just listen. Like I said, as a survivor, and I understand, you know, we don't want people that are therapists or that was learning from a book to give us advice.
Right.
We want, I want to know that you actually went through something, because you can't tell me something if you've never experienced.
That's it.
So I need to know that you've been through the struggle and you understand what I'm talking about. And so I always say my door is open, my phone is open, my email is open for you to reach out to me and just share your story, or you know what I mean, like I said, or just talk. You know, I didn't have anybody that I felt comfortable enough to just break out and say, yeah, you know what I mean.
And for me, it was just like you said before, the embarrassment.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick up the phone and tell my mom, hey,
right.
Mom, I'm being beat on.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You know, because immediately, you know, she would have made that situation better. Than, you know, she was going to come to
right.
Atlanta, you know, and pick me up. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Period. You know, you're going back home to
right.
South Carolina.
Right.
You know?
And that's the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's just amazing how we met, Kendra. We met. You guys, thank you so much for the hearts. I am hoping and praying that you were able to hear me today on the show. My allergies is acting up tremendously, so my voice is going in and out. So I'm speaking as loud as I possibly can. But Kendra and I met, was it last year?
Yep.
Last year, in October.
Yep. This
so
time
we're
last
celebrating
year.
1 year.
1 year.
1 year of friendship. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Angie, for letting me know. Angie says she can hear me fine.
Okay.
1 year of friendship, 1 year of sisterhood, and I don't take that for granted. And we actually met through Rhonda Thompson. Rhonda is a dear friend of mine and sister of mine,